Welcome back to our Fireside Chat. I'm here with Paul Robinson, founder, Tempest Networks.
Yep, and we focus in on helping organizations navigate through cybersecurity and risk problems with our services and solutions.
Fantastic. I'm also here with Marvin Smith, founder of Nexus Cloud.
We provide managed services to small, medium-sized law firms.
Also, their links to their company will be in the links below. And I'm Adrian Libert, founder of Hudson Vilsack, creator of IBO for automated vulnerability scanning and reporting. So let's talk about cybersecurity. Do you find it difficult to get companies to be proactive? It seems like everything is reactive. What's your experience been like? And again, you come two completely different perspectives, right? So let's start with you.
It's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult because it's very hard for organizations to apply the 5 senses of cybersecurity if nothing has happened. I liken it, and I don't mean to simplify it. I mean, this is my industry. I love it. It's insurance. Doing work in cybersecurity is insurance, and people roll the dice with insurance all the time. I do with my own home. My homeowner's insurance guy calls me all the time about this one rider on my policy, and it's like $1,500 for the year. I'm like, I don't want to do it. But he hasn't made a compelling reason for me to act. It's like, oh well, if this happens, I'm like, the likelihood of that happening is very low. I'm not going to do it. But I know if that risk is exposed, it's going to be curtains for me. Like it's going to be a bad day. So what I try to do with my clients and people that I talk to is, let's get out of talking about cybersecurity and let's talk about risk, because no one can sell against risk. The risk is owned by the person on the other end. So if you want to own the risk, that's fine, but just know what that can entail and what that could mean for your organization. So for the people that are not proactive, I like to at least leave a go behind and say, okay, I get it. You don't have the budget, you don't have the people to do this. Here is the actual risk that you can face from a business perspective. If you're willing to accept that, I cannot sell against that, but I want you to know, because if God forbid that ever is exposed, that could mean a very bad day for your organization. And know that I know about that, and you can call me if that ever happens, but you have to make that decision for yourself if that's a risk you want to accept or not.
Do you find it's easier, I don't know what percentage of your clients work in regulated industry, but do you find because they work in a regulated industry, they are more receptive to taking proactive steps?
No, they're like my children. They're trying to beat the system all the time.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of the way that they are. And in highly regulated industry, I hope no one is recording this call, because what this person just said, like if the feds or whoever governing body heard this, like they shut the whole place down. Again, bringing the value brings the temperature down, because if you bring up a HIPAA or you bring up a PCI or a CMMC, then they automatically think you're preying on their weakness or something that they need. So, don't just go, oh, your healthcare, oh, you have HIPAA, and they're just looking at you like,
up against the wall.
Yeah, and you're just looking at you like, oh, this guy wants to smell me. Firewall, EDR, managed services, like whatever. But if you understand the law of HIPAA, and this is how I would manage my teams and say, listen, A, you need to learn how to spell HIPAA correctly, because people don't even spell that correctly. B, they don't. Like it's embarrassing sometimes. I've seen it in like healthcare meetings. They're spelling HIPAA wrong. I'm like, come on.
You have to on a slide.
Yeah.
On the presentation in front of like 60, 70 people.
Exactly. Yeah. But if you know the industry, and you know the problem that you're trying to solve, then their temperature starts to come down, and you can have a more proactive discussion with them, or like, okay, it's not just plugging something in and HIPAA goes away. It's a whole strategy that I need to come up with, that I can provide and I can use with these people to help them along the way.
Marvin?
Mine is totally opposite. They want cybersecurity solutions. I think all...
That's... What?
Yeah.
You hire him?
It was maybe around 2021, 22, around pandemic time. a lot of law firms were getting hacked left and
Oh,
right.
the Panama Papers came around that sort of time
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah.
Right.
So
Yay! Thank you.
it's just basically like they need that because they want to work with bigger companies,
Right.
and the bigger companies are basically telling them like, hey, if you don't have these frameworks in place, we can't share our documents with you, we can't send you sensitive information. So yeah, a lot of the firms that we're dealing with, like, hey, we want cybersecurity.
Right.
Yeah.
That's highly, highly, highly unusual to hear. Maybe because I worked in the finance industry, and it was just like we would just pay the fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
We would just pay the
wow.
fine
Oh, yeah.
because the risk of, for example, having a trade executes more slowly because of running Windows clients, right?
Yeah.
So you're having your antivirus running on the thing, anti-malware. It does take a CPU hit,
Yeah.
right? It does. There is a bit, but that is so important to them. They will just pay the fine.
Yeah.
They don't want to know. They don't want to hear. Do you have issues with? Sometimes I've had the issue where a vendor came by. The salespeople love it, and you have to understand sales is everything, right?
Yeah.
So the salespeople are incredibly powerful within especially within the financial industry. Oh, your users are going to need to have administrative access for the software to work because the software is so poorly written that need to have administrative access for the stuff. And I've had some departments say, "Go ahead and get them administrative access."
Oh, wow. Okay.
What do you do? I'm curious. What would you do?
Well, assuming that it's I'm sure it's like it's admin. It's username, password, admin. It's just, and it's interesting that you bring this up with because I have conversations with when you have conversations with people, have logical conversations. So in that area, it's like, all right, let me talk to the sales leader here. And say, okay, let's with department head of sales, not CIO, not CISO. Let me talk to the
Fixed income sales, equity sales.
yeah, let's talk to the head and say, okay, let's say I came into your office and I told you that your client list went to your biggest competitor. What would you do? Oh, freak out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose my job. Like, I'm done. I'm like, okay. Understand that when you give these rights out to your sales team, that risk has gone up exponentially. Because if you're giving them administrative rights and they're in a rush to complete a trade or to sell a product, and they can't make it to the office in time, and they're going to Starbucks and they're on open Wi-Fi,
Of course.
who's to say that your competitor is not just sniffing Wi-Fi and then boom, the list is gone? You just have to make it like cybersecurity is very emotional. Like a lot of people don't understand that because it is so technical, it is so binary, but it's an emotional thing. And when you can touch people's emotions for what it is, K through 12, like, people like, oh, K through 12, they don't have budgets. I'm like, well, start to talk to the teachers' administration about the safety of the students.
Exactly.
That's going to touch them. They don't care about firewalls. They don't care about endpoint detection. But if a student is getting, deep faked AI, and it happened in New Jersey, where the kid was, taking teenage girls and putting naked bodies on. I'm a father of daughters, man. I burn the place down in a second. But that's the thing. It's like, those are the type of things that are happening out there. That's what we're protecting about. You can't put a price tag on a child's safety. You can't put a price tag on a publicly traded, organization's sales list going on out there. That's what you got to focus in.
Well, that's a very interesting way to approach it, right? You can say make it emotional attachment because you can't. It's not a logical argument. Your logic, the money is more important, right? At the end of the day. So absolutely, but in framing it that particular way is very good. I just rolled my eyes, but framing it that way is an excellent way to handle that sort of issue. So okay.
So if a vendor comes to me and say, hey, everybody needs to give administrative access, I'll basically say over my dead body. So
Right.
yeah, it's you're opening yourself to
And you, because you're the one managing it, so when it
Yeah.
all goes pear-shaped,
yeah.
Marvin, what did you do wrong?
Exactly. So
So it's on you.
pretty much just over my dead body. So
Okay, that's pretty succinct.
yeah.
Yeah.